What if I told you, one decision can turn a scared, silent boy into a fearless champion? But the real enemy wasn't the people. It was inside his own mind. This is not just a story. This is a story about fear, pain, and self-confidence. A story that will prove one thing. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build. So watch till the end, because the ending will shock you. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Ryan. He was a normal student. He wasn't weak. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't a failure. But there was one thing that controlled his entire life. Fear. Whenever the teacher asked him a question, Ryan knew the answer. But his lips stayed silent. His hands would shake. His heart beat like it was trying to escape his chest. And deep inside, a voice whispered, "Don't speak. They will laugh at you." And because of that, Ryan became invisible. Not because he wanted to be, but because he believed he had no value. One day in school, an announcement came. Public speaking competition. The winner would get a trophy and a chance to represent the school in another city. Ryan's eyes opened wide in shock. His heart said, "This is your chance." But his fear replied, "No, you can't." He looked around. Other students were smiling, excited. And Ryan lowered his head, because he already saw the future in his mind. A future where he stands on stage, stutters, and everyone laughs. So he didn't sign up. He walked away. Like always. That evening, it was raining. Ryan walked alone to a park. His shoes were wet, his hoodie heavy. But his mind was even heavier. He sat on a bench, staring at the ground, feeling like a loser. Then suddenly, a voice came from behind. "You look like someone who is fighting a war inside." Ryan turned around. An old man was sitting nearby, feeding birds. Ryan stayed quiet, but the old man smiled and said, "I can see it in your eyes. You want something, but fear is holding you back." Ryan finally spoke. "I want to do something big, but I don't have confidence." The old man looked at him deeply and said something Ryan would never forget. "Confidence is not a gift. Confidence is a weapon, and you build it slowly." Ryan asked, "How?" The old man picked up a small stone, threw it in the air, and caught it. Then he said, "The first time I tried this, I dropped it. The second time, I dropped it again, but I kept trying." He looked at Ryan and said, "Self-confidence is built through failure." Ryan's eyes widened. The old man continued, "If you want confidence, stop waiting to feel ready." Then he stood up and walked away, leaving Ryan with silence and a new thought in his mind. That night, Ryan stood in front of a mirror. He looked into his own eyes and whispered, "I am not weak. I am just untrained." Then he said something louder, "I will try." The next morning, Ryan signed up for the competition. Students stared. Some laughed. One boy even said, "Ryan, public speaking. Bro, you can't even talk." Everyone laughed, but Ryan didn't reply, because for the first time, he wasn't listening to them. He was listening to himself. Ryan started practicing every day. He spoke in his room. He spoke in front of his mirror. He recorded his voice and hated it. He forgot lines. He stuttered. He failed again and again. Sometimes he wanted to quit. Sometimes he cried alone. But every time he felt weak, he remembered the old man's words. Confidence is built through failure. And slowly, his voice started becoming stronger. Slowly, his fear started shrinking. Finally, competition day arrived. The school hall was full. Teachers were sitting in the front row. Students were whispering and laughing. Ryan stood behind the stage curtain, holding his paper. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding like a drum, and his mind started attacking him again. You will fail. They will laugh. Run away. Then the announcer said loudly, "Next speaker, Ryan." Ryan froze. His legs felt heavy. He wanted to run. He wanted to disappear. But then he remembered the mirror, the sleepless practice, and every painful moment that made him stronger. And in his mind, he said, "I am not here to be perfect. I am here to be brave." He took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. The lights hit his face. He couldn't see clearly, but he could feel hundreds of eyes on him. He opened his mouth, and for a second, no sound came out. The hall became silent. A student whispered, "See? I told you." Ryan heard it. His heart broke. But then, something inside him woke up. He lifted his head, looked straight ahead, and began speaking. His voice was low at first, but then he remembered. They are not my enemies. They are just people. So he spoke louder, stronger, clearer. He spoke with emotion. He spoke with confidence. And suddenly, the same students who were laughing became silent. Teachers leaned forward. The hall was completely quiet. Only Ryan's voice was echoing. Ryan reached the final line of his speech. His hands stopped shaking. His eyes became strong. And he said, "Fear is not my enemy. Fear is my teacher." He paused and said the last words, "And today, I choose myself." Silence. A deep silence. Then suddenly, one person stood up, then another, and within seconds, the entire hall was standing, cheering, clapping. Ryan's eyes filled with tears, because for the first time in his life, people weren't laughing at him. They were respecting him. Ryan didn't win because he was the best speaker. Ryan won because he didn't run away. He stayed, and he fought. And that day, he didn't just win a trophy. He defeated the voice inside his head that always said, "You can't." And that's the lesson. Self-confidence doesn't mean you are not scared. Self-confidence means you move forward even while shaking. Because the truth is, you don't become confident first. You become confident after you try. So if you're scared today, good. That means your dream is big. Now go and prove yourself. Because confidence is not built by winning. Confidence is built by not quitting.